How's it going, everybody? Rocky Mountain EDC here, and today I have a much anticipated and long awaited video for you guys, and that is going to be showing you guys my entire collection of folding pocket knives. So this is just going to be part one of my pocket knife collection, and again, this is really just going to be looking at my folding pocket knives. I do have some fixed blade knives that I also have that I will make a separate video for those ones. So this is just going to be really looking at part one of my folding pocket knife collection. So stay tuned after this video for another upcoming part two video. And if you end up enjoying this content, make sure to give it a like, thumbs up, hit that bell notification, and subscribe to the Rocky Mountain EDC channel for more videos like this. Thanks. Okay, so getting into my pocket knife collection in no particular order that I'm going to go in. Now, I think one of the very interesting things about pocket knife collections is how they change and adapt over time. Now, not everyone's a pocket knife collector. Some people just want one good knife to last them for the rest of their lives. I definitely have some knives in the collection that fit that category, that they could be a one and done knife for me. But I enjoy a lot of the different varieties of pocket knives and any type of folding knife out there, that I really like to collect them and really get to see all that there is to offer as much as possible. So no particular order here, just going to look at some of my pocket knives here. First, I have the CRKT Fossil Flavio Icoma design with IKBS ball bearing pivot system. This is a pretty decent knife, not really a EDC knife due to its size and weight, but it's just gonna have a really nice aesthetic to it. I just love the handle material. So this is actually G10 and that hammered steel frame there. And this definitely speaks to the knife's name. It is going to look like a fossil. And I think that this knife is just really cool to look at. It's just a very nice collector's piece, and I just think that the design is really, really nice. So if you want more information on this knife, definitely go check out my overview and impressions video on this. And with any knives that I show here, I definitely have more knife content up there that you guys can see a little bit more in-depth information on these knives. But that is going to be the CRKT Fossil in my collection. Next up, we have the Opinel number 8, and this is going to be a modified version of the Opinel. So I actually did a little bit of customization to this. So this is not an option or what the Opinel standardly looks like when you buy the knife. So the Opinel number 8, great, inexpensive knife, just really great budget knife to get if you need just a cutting tool that's gonna be relatively reliant. And it's very lightweight due to the fact that the handle material is this, I believe, beechwood handle material. So it's very light, good, strong, and just easy to use. Collar lock here for locking in both the open position and in the closed position. So just a really cool knife. I definitely customized it in terms of the blade, so I turned it more into a straight back or drop point style blade. It typically comes in a clip point style. I kind of ground down and sanded down the handle to be a little bit more comfortable in the hand, added a little bit of jimping on the wood and jimping on the spine of the blade. And then lastly, I added a little lanyard fob here just to help balance the blade out and to make it a little easier to grab out of the pocket if I wanted to pocket carry it. So that is the Opinel number 8 modified by myself. Next up, we have this Old Timer, this Schrade Old Timer trapper pattern here in this saw cut gun stock bone pattern here on the handle. So really nice just another pretty inexpensive, budget-friendly slip joint style knife. Not going to be as premium as Great Eastern Cutlery or Case, but definitely just a good, good little slip joint knife to use if you're kind of on a budget and don't want to spend the premium extra money for premium things like chamfering, weird things like these pins here sticking out. You're going to get some weird inconsistency like that. Gaps in between the bone and the brass liners in there. So it is not going to be as premium and having the best quality control, but it's going to be just a good little slip joint for the price you get. So you get those two nice blades, very classic pattern, just a good little overall knife. Then we have the, in this case, Wenger. So this is going to be kind of an older model of the grip that they have for Victorinox. And this is the Wenger version. So this is before Victorinox kind of took over Wenger's products and kind of developed it into their own. So this is just a nice little Swiss Army knife multi-tool here. So you have a nice standard blade here with a lock on it. Another bunch of other things. You have a can opener, cap lifter, bottle opener there. Got a saw on here. You have some scissors, standard tweezers, and toothpick. And then you have a screwdriver, Phillips, and an awl. So just a nice little multi-tool Swiss Army knife here. And it does have this grip texture into this kind of plastic material, which is actually really nice. Hence why it gets the name the Grip. So really cool little multi-tool there. Next up, we have the Gerber 06 Fast. This is going to be the budget-friendly little brother and legal-friendly version of the Gerber 06 Auto. So this is really kind of a more budget-friendly version of that knife, so that tactical mindset, very sturdy material in terms of the handle, G10, full stainless steel liners, lots of different jimping and chamfering and swells to make sure that you have a really good grip. So we have the Gerber 06 Fast here. Then we have another multi-tool type hybrid design here, and that is going to be the Gerber Private. So it's going to be a mixture, kind of a hybrid between a utility knife and a pry bar, with a few added extra components to it. So we have this really nice sliding and locking mechanism here to get that utility blade out, and that's really nice. You can also use the utility blade to cut cordage or to even use it to strip wires. You have this portion right there. So you don't actually have to open up the entire utility blade to use it. If you are in a situation where you just need to cut cording, you can even use it as a safety emergency seatbelt cutter, or like I said, a wire stripper. You can just use that component. Really nice G10 there, really grippy. You have that nail puller / pry bar component at the end, and then you also have a bottle opener on there. Really cool little utility blade, very on the minimalist side, but kind of a hybrid tool, so you can definitely use it for multiple tasks. Not going to be as chunky and as thick as a lot of utility knives that we see, you know, like really big handles, and again, that's more for comfort and to make sure that you have a sure grip. But if you just want that utility blade in a much smaller, more EDC friendly package, this is going to be a really good one. And Gerber offers a lot of other different types of versions of this. They have a more even compact one with a surgical blade on there. So really cool little multi-tool there. Next up, we have the CJRB Crag in G10 and carbon fiber overlays on the handles, and their proprietary AR RPM9 stainless steel on the blade. So it is a powdered steel, which is really cool. It's their proprietary blend from CJRB. So really cool. From what I've seen, it takes an edge really nicely, holds up really good in terms of edge retention, and have not had any problems with it. And this is a pretty decently sized knife, very utilitarian blade style, so really good for a lot of utility cuts and a lot of cutting edge, so really good for even possibly food prepping as well, and just general use. This is a really cool knife. I definitely love the red accent here. This is an aluminum kind of ring around the pivot there, so it's a red aluminum pivot collar. Really nice, just looks awesome. Full stainless steel liners in a very thick and chunky liner lock, if you want to call it that. I mean, it's getting up into the category and territory of a frame lock type thickness. Very thick liner lock on there. Just a really cool overall knife. Next, we have a classic EDC friendly budget pocket knife, and that's going to be without a doubt the Savivi Elementum in black G10 and D2 steel with that spear point or drop point style blade on there. Really cool standard deep carry pocket clip. Love this knife. This was definitely one of kind of the first, I don't want to say the first, for me, it might have been the first nice knife I got, but just a really great little knife. It is simple in its design and its use, but it's just reliable and it's just simple, and that's a good thing. Simple is okay. For a knife enthusiast or collector, simple isn't always what you want to do. Not speaking for everyone, but for me, I want a little bit more variety. But as far as just a standard cutting tool, this is a really great knife, and I love this knife, as we will see with the fact that I have two other variants of this particular pocket knife. So with those other variants, I also have the copper version of the Savivi Elementum, and this is kind of getting into a little bit more of an aesthetic appeal. Still that simple, common design with the Elementum, but having this really rustic looking copper scales. And this is going to change actually how the knife feels in general. Because that copper adds so much extra weight to it, it feels like a completely different knife to the Savivi Elementum in black G10. So that's really cool. Definitely the black hardware encoded blade make it a pretty rustic looking version of the knife, and that added weight for me is partly why I don't carry it as much. If I'm going to carry a knife this size, I want it to be kind of the weight of the size of what I would expect. I'm not surprised that the Fossil is heavy. It's a big knife. That doesn't surprise me. But for this size, I'm going to carry this. I might as well just carry a buck 110 in my pocket and get a more cutting edge on there. But nonetheless, very cool looking knife in my collection. Next up, we have the case case trapper here in this beautiful toasted burnt jigged bone here. Really beautiful nickel silver bolsters, nice standard clip point blade, and that spade blade on there, and everything, all the blades, steel back springs there, and the bolsters, everything's polished. So it's a very beautiful looking knife, very good collector's knife, and very good for general use as well. So definitely any of these knives especially the ones that I've done, I have videos up. So if you want more information, definitely go check those out. But this was, for me, definitely something that I sought after for a really long time, because I just loved the trapper pattern, and I just loved the bone and how everything looks. It's just a classy, old school style slip joint knife that is just awesome, and absolutely love it. All right, last knife for part 1 of my pocket knife collection. We're gonna have the Spyderco PM2, and this is the standard stock version, but I have a little customization to it. So we have their new, or not necessarily new, but they run all of their standard PM2s now in S45 VN rather than S30V. Now, definitely check out my video on the Spyderco PM2 to kind of get more of my opinions on S45 VN. But yeah, still a good steel on there. I really like it. And I have these aftermarket Flytanium, titanium Lotus scales on there, which definitely make the knife feel a little bit more premium and just feels a little different in general. A little bit more quote unquote luxury and just a different aesthetic to it. And then I also have a Lynch Northwest deep carry pocket clip on there as well, sand washed finish for that. And this for me was probably one of the first premium knives that I got in my collection. Now it came with the standard black G10, and for me this was a long sought after knife because I just really liked everything about it in terms of a user knife, right? So Spyderco PM2 and just Spyderco in general is not really known for its looks. It's not a looker type knife. They're really meant for use. They're meant to be reliable and have really good ergonomics, really good blade shapes, just meant for use. And for me, the PM2 was definitely one that I wanted for a really long time. And this definitely holds as one of my favorite knives in my collection. So the PM2 is definitely up there in my top favorite knives that I have. So that is going to conclude the video for the part 1 of my pocket knife collection. I have a bunch more knives to share with you guys in part 2. So stay tuned for that. And don't forget to give this video a like. It definitely helps out the channel. And to make sure that you subscribe to the Rocky Mountain EDC channel if you are not already. Thanks for watching.